Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we will be discussing about the very important act from the banking law, and that is the Banking Ombudsman 2006. So before getting into the technicalities of that act, we should understand what is the meaning of the Banking Ombudsman and what is the nature of that body, as well as some historical aspect of Banking Ombudsman. So let's start from the today's topic, and that is the meaning of the Banking Ombudsman. So as you know very well, under section 6 of the Banking Regulation Act, there are various businesses which are the transacted by the banking companies. So whether banking company perform their functions properly or not, so there shall be an authority who put the check on the services provided by the bank, and that authority is the Banking Ombudsman. So, in the literal meaning, a person who put check on the services providing by the banks as well as receive complaints from the aggrieved parties. Not only receive that type of complaint but also to settle that complaints. That means a banking ombudsman. So, banking ombudsman is that type of nature body which we can say that it is a quasi judicial body. So, what is the main difference between the judicial body and quasi judicial body is that judicial body is bound to follow all the hard and fast principles of the Indian Evidence Act as well as CRPC in criminal cases and CPC in civil law. But quasi judicial body have no obligation to follow that hard and fast principles of the evidence as well as other procedural law. So they have also power to develop their own procedure, and the decision given by that bodies is the binding one as an award to the parties. So if we go through from the historical aspect of the banking ombudsman, the concept of the banking ombudsman was introduced in 1995, and there are various amendments in that act. So let's start from the chapter number 1 of Banking Ombudsman, section 1, which generally deals with the application of that act. As you know very well, this act is applicable to whole of the India. Section 2 generally talks about the powers of the RBI. So, what is the power of RBI? As you know very well, in the Banking Regulation Act, we also discussed that power, that RBI has power to suspend the any of the provision of that act or the wholly act for certain time period. So there are various other procedures. So as this video is only contains the overview of the Banking Ombudsman Act, so let's continue from the section number 3, which generally deals with the definitional aspect. So what is the meaning of the award? Award is passed by the Banking Ombudsman, as you know very well. So legal representation means the aggrieved party represents his case by the legal practitioner. And who is that legal practitioner? Which we can say an advocate before the Banking Ombudsman, because Banking Ombudsman is a quasi judicial body. So let's continue from the next definition, and that is the complaints. Complaints means representation made by the aggrieved party to the Banking Ombudsman, even though in the electronic form. So I hope all the concepts are very clear for all of you. So let's continue from the chapter number 2 from the Banking Ombudsman, and section number 4 generally deals with the appointment of the Banking Ombudsman. Appointment of the Banking Ombudsman is generally by the RBI and the Chief General Manager or Manager. What is the tenure of the Banking Ombudsman? And that time period for his services is only for 3 years. So let's continue from the section number 5. Section number 5 generally deals with the location and temporary headquarters. So all these points, that means to say location as well as Banking Ombudsman's temporary headquarters, shall be prescribed by the RBI for removal of the delay, so that he can easily receive all the complaints regarding the banking companies as well as also settle these complaints. So Section 6 generally deals with the secretariat, and other staff is also appointed by the RBI just for the aid to the banking ombudsman. So let's continue from the chapter number 3rd of the banking ombudsman, and that is the section number 7. Very important section that deals with the jurisdiction, powers as well as duties of the banking ombudsman. So let's go through from the jurisdictional point. So what are the territorial limits? You can also check this video from our playlist from the CPC. And territorial limits generally means that such a whether such a banking ombudsman is competent to receive complaints from that territory or not. So it is all about the territorial limits, and that limits are specified by the RBI. Second, receive complaints from banks through mediation and conciliation proceeding, and also award. Award is some sort of the decision, and as we know very well from as per the introduction of that video, that banking ombudsman shall receive the complaints from the aggrieved person regarding the banking companies. Sometimes people who are the aggrieved parties try to choose the another method, and that is known as the mediation and conciliation proceeding. That means to say that there are certain agreements between both of the parties, and both of the parties are agreed upon such conditions, and this is known as the mediation and conciliation proceeding. So what is the result, what is the decision from that proceeding? It is known as the award. So, what are the powers which the banking ombudsman have? Firstly, general superintendence over the office of the banking company, and also receive the complaints from the aggrieved party. Now, what are the duties? Duty to make annual budget and send report to the governor of the RBI, as well as on the 30th June of the every year. So he has to send on his report on the 30th June of the every year. So it is all about the banking ombudsman. Rest of the topic will be discussed on the in the next video. So if you like our video, please like, comment, share and subscribe my channel.